Hello friends, welcome to Punneit's Astrology. It's your one-stop astro channel and I am here with another video on a debilitation of another planet. In my last video, I discussed about the debilitation of Moon in the sign of Scorpio. So let us discuss more about the debilitation of the ruler of Scorpio, Mars. So what does the debilitation of Mars means? First of all, as I explained, the debilitation means an uncomfortable zone, an uncomfortable scenario where the planet finds very difficult to execute its natural behavior, natural property. So what happens with Mars? Mars finds its sign of debilitation in Cancer, the Karka Rashi, the Cancer Zodiac. And what happens when Mars goes into Cancer? Let us try to find that out. Stay tuned till the end of the video and you will get to know a glimpse into the world of debilitation of Mars. So do like and subscribe and hit the bell icon because that is what keeps you and me connected. So guys, please like and subscribe and share the video in your social media so that the word of astrology spreads. The debilitation of Mars. What is Mars? Mars means anger. Mars is fire. Mars is energy. Mars is will to fight. Mars is the desire. Mars is the reason why we want something in the first place in our life, because Mars controls the sense of accomplishment, the sense of achievement. Mars is the military, Mars is discipline, Mars is command, and Mars is determination. The sheer willpower that drives us to climb the mountain or cross the ocean, everything comes with Mars. Mars makes us athletic, Mars gives us intense physical energy and intense intensity with which we can work and make our task something that is far above from others. But Mars is a very strong planet. Mars is also, you can say, a kind of a selfish planet. Mars knows only one thing. Mars wants to fight and Mars wants to defend. So there are two phases or two phases of military. One phase is to attack and the other phase is to defend. Attack the enemy, defend the nation. This is what the military is all about. And Mars also has the same thing. The fourth aspect of the Mars is the defensive aspect. The eighth aspect is the killing aspect. The seventh is the observation. Now, when Mars is a kind of a planet who is full of energy, who is full of enthusiasm, who wants to do more from the house where he sits in, who wants to take control and command of that house, the complete rulership, the ownership of that house has to be with Mars. That Mars goes into the sign of Cancer. What happens in Cancer? Cancer is an emotional sign, it is a motherly sign, rules the natural fourth house. It is ruled by a very soft planet Moon, and it is also house to one of the most positive nakshatra known as Pushya. It is also the sign of exaltation of Jupiter. So you can understand that the sign of Cancer, the Karka Rashi, is all about nourishment, all about feeding, all about making a person grow from childhood to adulthood, giving a lot of teachings to humanity, serving humanity. It also means relaxation. It also means pleasure, happiness. It is like a vacation period. It is your own home where you are actually comfortable. It also defines kitchen and it also defines cooking because it rules nourishment. Mars goes into the sign of vacation. So it's like a soldier who was supposed to fight the battle has been sent home, and he is now deprived of all those activity in the war field where he finds his identity. So Mars, who finds or correlates his identity with battle, war, desire, championship, competition, race to win, Mars finds all those absent in the sign of Cancer. And because it is absent in the sign of Cancer, Mars becomes frustrated. Because Mars gets frustrated, he finds himself in a trap where he is not able to express himself. So the expression of Mars is actually hindered and Mars faces a very turbulent scenario on what to do with the resources that he has. He has a home, he has a kitchen. So it's a soldier who was sent into kitchen to cook the food, and therefore he is not able to identify himself with the surrounding, with the circumstance, and that is what happens with those natives who have debilitated Mars in their horoscope. When you have a debilitated Mars, the energy goes low, the confidence goes down a bit, and the will to fight is no longer there. It is like I am having a laid back attitude. This kind of Mars wants to do the task not at the expense of his own energy. So now he wants a political scenario where he can manipulate other people so that his intention or his ambitions can be fulfilled by somebody else. Therefore, Mars in the sign of Cancer is more political than anywhere on the solar system, anywhere on the other zodiacs. Because in the sign of Cancer, Mars also somehow creates a malefic effect on the sign of Cancer. So the kind of nourishment property also takes a hit. So he's like very aggressive, very political. And if this Mars is retrograde, this Mars can be a crooked Mars, someone who is always into, pinpointing others' mistake, always on the fault finding zone, not always high on energy, but always willing to do something. So he is just pushing his own dreams and desire on somebody else's. So he's the kind of a planet who will fire the gun, placing on the top of another person's shoulder. So in this case, this Mars behaves negatively, but not always. You have to carefully understand that Mars in this case will behave negatively if you oppress or suppress your feeling from your inside, and if you want to fight from this Mars. This Mars has to be made to understand that a soldier who cooks food on the battlefield is also a soldier. You cannot deny his role. His role may be actually in reality superior than the soldiers, than his teammates, than his peers, because he is the one who is making everybody, who is keeping everybody alive through food. If there is no food, there is no war. So when the Mars is in the sign of Cancer, there is an identity crisis for this Mars, and this Mars has to be made understood that whatever your energy is, whatever your capacity is, whatever the creativity that you have to accept it, and you have to use your attributes of energy, whatever quality you have got, and you have to mix it with the resources that you have at hand, and you have to make the best out of it. If you are not able to make the best out of it, that is when most of the people complain that this Mars debilitation is causing a lot of problem. Now you also can understand that in today's world, if you have a debilitated Mars, you will have a far more greater political understanding, and therefore if you are a businessman or if you are someone in the field of politics, you will have a greater effect on that particular field, because you understand how to conserve the energy and utilize the resource, how to make others do the task that you were supposed to do. Sometimes it is bad, sometimes it is good. That is a question. It depends totally on the person who is doing, the circumstances, and how it is doing. If it is done in the right path, Saturn is definitely going to give you positive results. But if it is done in the wrong path, yes, you will get the results of your bad karma under the effect of certain planets like Saraswati. But let us stick to the behavior of Mars itself here. Mars in the sign of Cancer makes a person overly emotional, and the person's energy does not find the right way of expression, because Mars is not emotional. Energy cannot be emotional. Energy has to be balanced, conserved, and has to be channelized in a certain way. But if your Mars is emotional, you can become overly emotional, and that's where the vulnerability comes into picture. So Mars in Cancer, you are definitely an emotionally vulnerable person. So be very careful. If other people's are actually walking on your emotions, don't let them to be. The Mars in the sign of Cancer do not expresses itself correctly, because how will a soldier express himself correctly if he is asked to be in the kitchen, if he is asked to not fight the war? One who has been trained always since birth to fight the war has been now sent to not fight the war. What best he can do? He can do defense. So Mars in the sign of Cancer has a far more defensive quality than attacking quality, and therefore you must make the best use of your defensive nature. You can be a very good orator, you can debate and defend your country very well. If not in the battlefield, there are other ways also. So if you have a debilitated Mars, actually, if you utilize it correctly, it will do far better than the exalted Mars, because in today's world, nobody is taking a gun and fighting on the battlefield. It's not like old days where every now and then there were wars. At that time, it was good that you had an exalted Mars, so that you had this masculine power and you will bring the sword out and you will fight. But now you don't need to. So in today's world, exalted Mars actually goes waste. because there is no way how you can express that exalted Mars other than the field of athletics, or you can become a bodybuilder. But the debilitated Mars has such a wide variety of expression now. The only thing is that it impacts your mind. And if it impacts your mind, if all you have to do is control your mind, control your emotions, find the right way to express and to create, because Mars in the sign of Cancer can also be a very good creator. Remember, if Mars is in the sign of Cancer, he is 4th from his first sign Aries, and he is 9th from his another sign Scorpio. So he is in Kendra from one house and trine from the another house. This Mars cannot be negative. We make it negative because Moon is all about perception. If Moon goes bad, the sign of Cancer goes bad, and if that goes bad, Mars becomes irritated. Now here there will be 3 expression of Mars, because there are 3 nakshatra. One is Punarvasu, the other one is Pushya, and the third one is Ashlesha. What happens in Punarvasu? Punarvasu has the quality of reverting things back. When Mars goes into Punarvasu, you have the habit of remembering the past activity or repeating the same thing again. And if you're doing it for good, it is good. If you're doing it for bad, you will repeat the same mistake again. The quality of Jupiter is hindered here because Mars says, I will take control. And Jupiter says, learn first, be a student and then be a leader. Mars wants to take control. That's the natural attribute. So first few years, if you have Mars in Cancer, the first few years of your life will be all about understanding the control, that frustration during teenager, that anger, that emotional oppression, the suppression, the inability to find somebody to love, somebody to express, is there when you have a debilitated Mars. The confusion with your own masculinity comes with the Mars in Cancer, and slowly it comes to a standstill, and you, whoever you are, whatever in position you are, you will gradually accept, but either you have to wait till the second half of your life, or you find a good mentor to make you understand, or take the help of astrology. In the nakshatra of Pushya, what happens that Mars takes the energy of Saturn, Mars becomes far more accepting, Mars surrenders in the sign of Pushya, and he accepts that he is supposed to take a role which is quite different from his friends, and that's okay because Pushya means all about nourishment, giving. So Mars becomes very philanthropic here. Although Mars wants to express, but the energy of Saturn in the Pushya and the quality of the Pushya nakshatra reduces the capability of the Mars, and I have seen that Mars in Pushya makes a person very lethargic if his ascendant is very strong, because he wants to do, but the Mars says have a laid back attitude, have a motherly nature, and have a very positive approach towards life, which is quite contradictory for the Mars. So because of this contradiction, Mars gives up. If the Mars gives up, you will give up. There would be confidence issues, there will be decision making issues, you will make wrong decisions. So in this case also, you have to be very careful, rework on your task every now and then, and always check for what you decide. What decision you have taken can go wrong. And if Mars goes into the nakshatra of Ashlesha, that is where the Mars finds the true point of debilitation, especially in the last pada of Ashlesha. Ashlesha is a Mercurian nakshatra. It has very serpentine property. It rules the poison. So Mars has now the weapon with poison. So imagine a guy in the kitchen with a poison in hand. He can kill everybody. It's not like you, if you have Mars in Ashlesha, you are like that. It only means that Mars debilitates itself in a negative way in Ashlesha, and that too not in all pada of Ashlesha, only in the 4th pada, because in the 4th pada of Ashlesha, Mars goes into Gandanta point, and the 4th pada of Ashlesha falls in Pisces zodiac. So Mars, who is in the water sign, goes into the nakshatra of Pisces, and now this Mars is going to create a lot of negative things, provided he is in a good position, he is in aspect of Jupiter, he has some sort of positive aspect, or Moon has a good aspect, then this Mars will give you an outstanding result, and you will be standing out in the crowd. You will be somebody who will be appreciated through your creativity, through your knowledge, through your information, and through the kind of wisdom that you bring, which is different from everybody else. Here you will be more mental than physical. Here you will apply your energy through communication and through intelligence rather than through brute physical force. But if it is negative, it can really go very bad. That you have to check, and that has to be checked from your own horoscope by analyzing carefully each and every planet. So this is how the Mars in Cancer expresses himself. It's not like it is going to be bad every time. Mars in Cancer in the Kali Yuga right now in 2019 and in the 21st century is actually good for you. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching Punneit Astrology. This is your one-stop Astro channel. Do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share. Do give your suggestions in the comment. And if you want to be connected, hit the bell icon because that is how you will get notifications when I upload the video. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching Punneit Astrology. More videos coming soon. Stay tuned.